Hello, welcome to this video about how I'm going to use a handmade notion. In this case, it's going to be the closures of this hand-stitched, slow-stitched pouch that I've made. Now, this was an original, let's see, I forgot how wide it was. 11 inches wide. It was 18 inches long. It was a rectangle. All right. And it was, first of all, a layer of batting, then a layer of very loose woven fabric over that. And then I started just putting scraps and slow stitching, just anything, anywhere along that 18 inches. Okay. So you can see all the hand stitching that's on there. And I just did that along the 18 inches on the very decorative side. On the other side, I just lined it with hand stitching, with scarves, just torn scarves. You can see how that's lined in there. There's one piece of cotton over here on this side. Everything else is scarves, just straight stitch, hand stitched on the other side of that batting to give it a lining. Okay, so when I got through with each side, I then just folded it up. In this case, I machine stitched down both sides for extra strength. Okay, now notice that all the edges are raw. I've not finished any edges. They are simply raw. And if something hung out a little, that was great. I love that. And as you can see at the top, I definitely left whatever was hanging out just hang out. Okay, right along in there. Now my handmade closures come in, and first of all, the handles, which I consider the handles part of the closure. I will have two, one on each side. This one is ready to sew. I took 3 strips of scarf material, put it together, tied a knot on the end, and I'm going to sew it on each corner. In the middle, I took a scrappy piece of fabric here that was, let me see if I can find, yeah, here it is. Some scrap trim that I make with odd pieces of batting, where I just hand sew scrap pieces on there like a snippet, kind of like a snippet roll. Anyway, I cut that and put one on each side to reinforce that handle if I'm holding it. Okay. Then I just tied it again in the center length with some embroidery thread there, floss. All right, and that will be one side. Now, I have the second side, which I haven't finished yet. I do have my knots tied. I don't have my tie in here with the thread. And I don't have my second piece of this on there. I would have to cut that, and so that I do have the one on one side, but I don't have the other one. And I like two because it's very substantial and it will really hold and protect that fabric. And when I get that finished, it will go on the other side, and then they will come up as a pair and hold this whole thing together. Or hold this thing together like a handle. Okay, I hope you can see that. When they're not used, they'll just drape pretty down the side. Okay. Now, that is one way that I'm going to incorporate a handmade handle. Another way is I'm going to determine what I'm going to use this for. Am I going to carry this at times like a bag? If I do, if I decide that, I'm going to take this little piece here that I've made. It's 2 circle pennies put together, sewn together, okay, with a little piece of just torn linen here on the end, but that's pretty strong fabric, okay. What I will do is I will take this and I will come on the back side and I will half that penny, about half of it, and I will sew that on very securely right there so that it will wrap over to the front. And there I will have attached this orange button that's on a shank. And because, as you can see, this will fit nicely over that button and it will hold it closed. So wouldn't that be a cute closure for this? All right. If I decide to use it like a bag. If I decide to use it as let's say a project pouch, then I have this little decorative piece that I have hand sewn on a piece of batting, just decorative, and this large pin. This time, if I intended to just use it as a project bag, I would just take this large pin and pin it, okay? And that way, pin it closed, and this would just hang down decorative, and it could sit on the shelf with a project tucked inside for when I wanted to grab and go, you might say. This is perfect for having a travel project bag ready to go. Put everything you need in it, put it on the shelf, and when you're going to take a little trip, vacation, or you're just going to sit out on the porch for a couple hours, grab your little project bag, unpin it, and everything's ready to go. So that is actually 3 different handmade closures that I think would work. The handles are going on now, and I have to decide which one of these I want to do. I think I'm leaning toward this one because I do think that I do want to carry this occasionally as a bag, and I think it would just be fun and a conversation starter for sure. When I go to the doctor's office, if I take something that I've made like this, it's always a conversation starter, which is very nice. Easy way to just get to meet people and have something fun to talk about. So, what do you think? Isn't that going to be beautiful? I think so. And what a beautiful piece this turned out to be. And if you know, it took me several months to finish it, but I didn't work on it all the time. I just worked on it when I felt like it. And what a scrap buster this project is also. As you can see, I've got everything and anything on here. I love the raw edges. I am definitely a boho old lady in the sense that I love the unfinished look, the tattered look, the colorful look, all the splash of personality that goes into a project like this. So I hope this inspires you to make something like this of your own. Again, just go back and start the video again and listen. It's nothing but an 11 by 18 inch rectangle of a batting piece, a soft woven piece on top of that, and that's to make it a substantial weight. So that if you do carry it as a bag or a project bag, it's not flimsy, okay? Not at all. And it doesn't have a flat bottom, but if it did, it would stand very well on its own. Don't be a perfectionist. Leave all your rough edges, okay? Nothing's going to happen to them, all right? When I hand stitched this whole piece, the final thing I'm going to do after I get my handles on is I'm going to come back and I'm going to add one more layer of hand stitching right across the front between the handles on each side. They have a lot of stitching already, but I'm going to do one more. But I'm not going to clean up the raw edges. I'm going to leave that because that's the personality. All right. So that's my style. Now you could make one just like it and style it the way you want it to look. If you want it all scrappy like this, that's great. If you want to do a perfect, let's say a perfect quilted pattern on here, that'd be great too. Whatever it is that you want to do. Remember that my motto is to do me very well. I don't try to do somebody else. I try to do me very well. Of course, you have to figure out what me is first. And that's also something that I think this community can help us to figure out as we show what we work on, how we make things, what our style is, what we love, why we love it, and put it together. And of course, my classroom videos will certainly help along that line too. So what do you think? Are you going to make one? I really, really hope so. Now, don't forget that this video is in coordination and collaboration with Marsha at Markets of Sunshine. And I have her link in the description below. Please go over and visit her and see what she's doing today for handmade notions. Till next time, stay scrap happy.